Hello and good morning. I'm here in probably one of the most beautiful spots in the world. It's the north side of the Wrangell Mountains. As you can see behind me here, all the big mountains, and just wanted to share this with everybody because it's just one of those special days where it's absolutely perfectly clear and you can see everything for as many miles as you can see. And I've been here for a long time, and I just wanted to tell a story about this spot. My dad brought me up here in 1966 to shoot my first caribou, and just wanted to share that with everybody. It was a pretty special moment for me. I was only about 9 years old, and he brought me up here, and we are going to get camp meat for the lodge to start the season with. And it was on August 9th, which was a few days ago, but the weather was bad and I couldn't get up here. It was my birthday, and so he brought me up here on my birthday to shoot a caribou. And the one thing that I'm going to share with you is I'll show you where we went. Okay, we landed right here, and me and Dad and Wendy, and we walked right down there, and I don't know, you can see off in the distance down there, there's a big rock down there, and there was about 6 to 8 caribou standing there. Just great big beautiful animals. The one I shot, we went down there a little ways, and back in those days the animals weren't really afraid of you too much, especially the caribou, because they're plains, they're group animals. And so we went right down there, and he had an old GI pack board that he set up on. He gave me a rest, and he was like, yeah, shoot the big one. And I did, and it was actually a record book caribou. Later on, there was a contest of the biggest caribou of the year, and actually I won the contest and won a brand new Winchester 338 Model 70 rifle. And so that was kind of cool. And but the main thing I wanted to share with you is that at that time, when you looked out across here, this was caribou country, and there was a huge herd of caribou up here, and Dad called them mountain caribou. And they were bigger animals. They're beautiful animals, and big white manes. The horns were really heavy and big, and they were just about everywhere you looked this time of year. And that if you and that was in the 60s, and through the 70s the season was open quite a bit for these animals, and the herd began to shrink. And long story short, it's been almost 40 years ago they closed the season in here because of the shortage of caribou. And as if you can look right now, there is no caribou. They never came back. And that's the heartbreaking part about some of this country up here, was that the animals get low and they don't seem to do anything about it. They just seem to close the season. And the point that I'm trying to make is that it seems like that's happening all across. That animals get lower and lower, then they close the season. And they don't seem to rebound as fast as what people would think they would, and especially with the caribou here. And like I say, they're not here. If you look really hard, you'll find one or two down in these valleys and down in the bottoms down there, and then in the wintertime there's a few more. And even anymore, the old days, the Nelchina herd used to migrate in here, and they would be up in here. And so even during the winter and part of that, but this main herd stayed here all the time. And so it was really something to see. And I wish there was a way we could figure out how to bring them back, but I guess that's not possible. And that's the next thing that I want to talk to you about. It's the Dall sheep. You see any Dall sheep? All my life, you could come up here, you could count 500 sheep in these mountains. Easy. Today I flew across here, I seen 6. This is a tragedy that's unfolding, and if we don't do something, we're going to lose our Dall sheep. And it's the same old thing. They say, well, we'll put it on restriction, we'll close it, but these sheep need help, and I don't know exactly how to help them. But if we're not careful, we're going to lose one of the most magnificent animals that we've ever had. And yes, I was a part of it. I was a guide outfitter my whole life. My dad was. We took a lot of animals, but there was a lot of animals. And they began to fade 10 years ago, and they never stopped. Whether disease, plant life, food, overharvest, you can get into a lot of things and put the blame on a lot of stuff and argue things and talk about stuff and everything, but the main thing is that they're not here and they're not doing good. So do I have the solution? No, I don't. They need a rest. They need help to come back. I guess people would ask, is like, well, what knowledge do you have that you can talk about stuff like this and say things about the populations and stuff? And like I said, you know, the first time I came up here is up on this mountain right here. My dad and mom moved us out here in Nebezna when I was just a baby, and so I've never missed a hunting season because my dad was a guide outfitter, and so I've been here every August and September. And then through the winters and trapping and driving snow machine and stuff and being with the animals. And so I have a pretty good base knowledge of what was here and how fast it went away and a lot of the things of how it went away. And so, you know what I mean? I'm not blaming anybody. But, you know, the Fish and Game said we were doing good and the counts were up and stuff, and we had some bad winters, and yes, and, you know, the feed has changed, the temperature has changed, and, you know, there's a lot of stuff that has changed, but I can fully say the caribou were hit really hard during the 1970s, and as far as hunting pressure goes, did that do it? You know, I don't know, but there sure was a lot of them shot. And is there a magic number with a herd that when it reaches a certain number that it can no longer sustain? That's why I'm concerned about the Dall sheep, is there enough of them left to maintain a herd? So that's what I think that everyone needs to take and really think about really quickly is if there's not enough of them to maintain the population, you know, will others migrate in and replace them and help strengthen the herd? That's always hope. But I'm very concerned that our population, and it's not just here, it's all across Alaska. It's in the Alaska Range, the Brooks Range. It's in, you know, the Nazotan Range, which is on that other side over there, and that's that far range that you can see behind me over there. And but anyway, this is a great world up here, and it's a great place. And without the animals in it, it's not as great. You know, it would be really cool to be standing here and see a caribou or 2 caribou or 30 caribou, or like in the old days, 60, 70 caribou, you know, out there just feeding and just laying down. And it was a relaxing time, you know what I mean? And not just to go out and just kill one, you know what I mean, but to actually to be up here with them. And the same thing with the sheep. And so anyway, that's my talk on that.